Hello, I'm Joseph R. Johnson. I'm a criminal defense attorney in Central Florida, and I'm trying to give an informational speech or lecture regarding contact with law enforcement. I've been practicing law since 1994 in the Central Florida area. I've been an assistant state attorney. I've been an assistant public defender in Florida. Prior to going to law school, I was a Florida state trooper. I've also been a police officer in Indiana. And the number one rule is just always be polite with the law enforcement officer. You don't want them to remember you and focus on trying to nail you or perhaps add additional charges if the facts justify that, because many times there are multiple charges that an officer could charge you with, and they have some discretion as to whether or not they're going to do that. Remember to provide your license and documents, but don't volunteer information. If a law enforcement officer asks you after a traffic stop, do you know why I stopped you? It's best just to say no or I don't know, because what the law enforcement officer is doing is fishing for an admission. Don't admit anything. Never consent to anything. Don't consent to a search of your vehicle. Don't consent to a search of your person. Now they may go ahead and do it, but you don't want to consent to it for legal purposes. Don't be afraid to invoke your right to counsel. Right to remain silent. It cannot be mentioned in a trial of your case. Your Miranda rights. I'm going to do a whole separate other informational video on Miranda rights. 99% of the time when people start talking to the cops, they say something that will hurt them in a court of law and ends up being an admission that is negative for their case. Remember that if the police are going to arrest you, they will generally go ahead and do it. You don't save yourself by talking to them. I've seen numerous times in my legal career where the only reason a person got arrested is because they admitted facts that allowed the officer to establish probable cause for an arrest and then taken to jail. So you really don't want to start talking without an attorney. Would be a very important thing to remember. Lastly, my name is Joseph R. Johnson. My website is www.jrjohnsonlaw.biz if you wish to look at it. I'm going to do some more videos in the future, the purpose being providing information regarding areas or issues in the field of criminal justice. Thank you.